Hello, my name's Anissa, and today I'll be giving my persuasive speech. And today we are going to talk about Head Start. What exactly is Head Start? Head Start is where we're getting your children ready for kindergarten or transitioning from maybe the infant toddlers to preschool. I have worked in a Head Start program here in Owensboro through Audubon area for about 5 years now. I started out in the infant toddler and I worked for them for probably about 3 years in the infant toddler room. And you may ask, what exactly, what can my child get from a Head Start program? For example, when I worked in the infant toddler room, for an infant, you will be looking for things such as like your fine motor skills, cognitive, like there's all kinds of areas that we break it down into. Like, for example, fine motor. When we think of fine motor for an infant, we're talking about maybe the child's laying down on a mat and they're working on their head movements, holding their head up, holding it down. Maybe it's sitting up. We as teachers, we're not just a daycare. We're there to actually, we're there watching your child, watching them grow. We are taking documents, we're taking notes. We are, it's actually a lot of work. And I know some parents, it frustrates me, but they're like, oh, I'm sending my kid to daycare today. We're not necessarily a daycare. We're here to make sure your child's ready to move on to the next step. We're there with you. We're also there for family resources. Like, say, for instance, you're having food issues. We're there to help the families. We are here to help these families and be there, provide for them, and support them in any way we can. I was once in that boat. I was a mother, a single mother, with one daughter. I didn't know what to do. I enrolled back in school. I panicked. I ended up moving into the apartments there. I don't know if y'all heard of them, called the Learning Villa. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my child. I was struggling and I knew I was going to go back to school full time. Well, a facility literally right across the street, you literally walk, was called Helen Sears. They were amazing with my child. That's when I decided, I had asked the director of the program if I could come in and sit and observe and see what all they do, because I think I had found a new calling for me. I was going to school for cosmetology, but then I was kind of like, my senior project in high school was actually to open up my own facility and run a Head Start facility. So I think that was the calling for me, was like, hey, get over here. So I ended up subbing there for a little while for them, and I was bouncing between infant toddler rooms and preschool rooms. Finally, they ended up hiring me, after I got my school. I was mainly taking online classes. I finally was able to bounce my school schedule and this work schedule, and I was able to work more often. It was only 20 hours a week, but it was something. Something was better than nothing for me. But I got my foot in the door, and eventually I worked it with, like I said, our infant and toddler rooms were together. Our toddler age children, for example, when I was saying earlier about things we look for them when we're in this facility, and you're thinking, well, what the heck, what could a toddler need to know? We're looking for those same things: fine motor, cognitive, their physical growth. We are looking for, their verbal communication. Are they interacting with classmates? Are they starting to use words and building sentences? And we're there to help them, encourage them to do these things. So then, once I finally decided, I bought my own house. Yes, it was a fixer-upper, but I got an interview at North Hancock to be a teacher assistant, which was my dream. I knew I wanted to come back home, but I got an interview, and the third time was a charm. They finally hired me, so I became a teacher assistant for preschool age children. And I have found my absolute passion. I love, love, love my job. Yeah, there may be daily struggles, and we do deal with low income families and some children that have behavioral issues, but there's not a thing I would change about it, because sometimes I feel like I'm here for them, and sometimes I understand them. I get it. But with preschool age children, I'm going to talk to you about our classroom setup. When you come into our classroom in a preschool setting, you will notice the layouts of the classroom. That'll probably be the first thing you notice. We have centers, and each of these centers have things that, go with what they're called. These students will be able to tell you when you walk in the room, here's this center, here's that center. But we have a science center, music center, block center, reading and writing center, dramatic play. We have a toys and games section, and I don't know if I already said art, but we have an art center. But each of these centers, you walk in and you'll walk to science center and you'll see, maybe some magnets, and they're able to experience with magnets. We have a math center. Our science and math centers together. You will find like counting bears, sorting activities. You walk over to music and you'll find musical instruments. You'll find all kinds of things. Each of these centers is something for these children to, learn off of and to build. And as these kids are playing, we call it their free time. We allow them to have an hour of free time. During this time is when me and the lead will walk around. We're taking notes. We're building relationships with these children, and we're writing down things maybe they need to work on, or things they're doing great in, or things, maybe we need to challenge them a little more. But all I'm saying is, if you all ever get the opportunity to send your child to a Head Start program, I highly, 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 highly recommend it. I can't tell you how many times when my oldest, I sent her to kindergarten, they were blown away of, how far ahead she was, and she was ready for kindergarten. She wasn't behind. They didn't have to catch her up. She was ready to go to kindergarten. So I just wanted to spread, the awareness about Head Start, what exactly it is, and we are not a daycare. Thank you.